Thank you, Profe.
Tumekula tumeshiba, si ndio?
Yes.
Na lazima hiyo chakula ifanyishwe kazi. Hebu simama hapo huko. And we try to get space where you are. Jaribu kupata space kidogo. Tufanye exercise kidogo ndio tuingize hiyo chakula, si ndio? Okay, we are going to do an exercise. So the first one I'm going to show you, you just do as I do and then you do it a bit faster. Sawa? Aya, you will say one. Useme nikisema one wewe unasema one. We must communicate. Yes. Okay. One plus one is equal to two. Two plus two is equal to four. Na ushike mzuri, ujishike mzuri na usianguke. Is equal to four plus four is equal to eight. Now it is a bit faster. Yes. One plus one is equal to two. Two plus two is equal to four. Four plus four is equal to 8.
Very well, appeared mwalimu wa CBC. You want us to be innovative. So, I'll take you through in the next 1 hour the role that we are expected to play in supporting SDGs. And the outcome of this, I would expect the outcome will be our dashboard, which I will show you where it is, to become more vibrant so that Kenya can be a leader on that area. So let us start with defining what sustainable development is. It is all about taking care of today, but ensuring the generations to come, our children and grandchildren, when it will become their time to enjoy the nature, watapata environment ikiwa sawa. So caring for what might happen tomorrow. That is, we enjoy what we have without compromising on the future generations to meet their own needs. 5 years ago, I toured Ethiopia, and I did not admire what they think is their pace of development. Because in Ethiopia, you can hardly find any park or any green space. Everything which is near Addis Ababa that can be turned into a building has been turned into one. And then you are left wondering what will happen to the generations to come. So we are very blessed as a country because of the kind of green environment that we have. We cannot take it for granted until we visit other countries. So sustainable development is one of the issues which drive what in the morning I called societal impact. And if I can see further than others, it is by standing upon the shoulders of giants. Isaac Newton, a great physicist, but we know Isaac Newton, even when he lived, we did not have anything like SDGs, but he was having that vision to be able to come up with such powerful statements many years ago. So, that being the case, as a librarian, when we talk of sustainable development, because these are UN goals, and the different sectors, including economists, would have different ways of viewing SDGs. They would have different stories and the ways of trying to discuss how they are arrived when it comes to SDGs. But us, as a community of librarians, our story is told through becoming champions of IFRA, International Federation of Library Associations, which KLA is a member. It's a member association representing all of you. And a number of people are active in IFRA. I serve in IFRA in one of the steering groups. And James Nyampane also serves in IFRA. And Mary here is one of actually the, what we call certified trainer of trainers for IFRA. Now, IFRA, within your gadget you can test, they have a map, which is a library map of the world, which then they use to share the stories of SDGs. So within the library map of the world of IFRA, we just put / stories. And of course, we have 17 SDGs, but what happens with those stories, the stories might be specific to a particular SDG. So information matters. Information matters for sustainability because access to information is a human right. So if someone comes to you and seeks for information and you don't give them that information, you are denying them a human right. As we are also working in the space of health information, we even qualify it to say by saying access to health information is a human right. If someone has diabetes or cancer, and they can be able to manage some of the problems they are having, then you deny them access to that information, is like writing for them a death sentence. So then that shows you the very much important role of librarians. Equitable access to information. Let's talk about the digital divide, which I am a champion, but I don't talk more when I'm with you. I talk that when I'm with the Western people to show them how they are putting us in a disadvantage. And also to encourage people with programs like Research for Life to continue with those programs without moving us from the band that gets access to free resources to the band that will require to be paying for those resources. Information is vital in making effective decisions which are evidence-based, data-driven decisions or information-driven decisions. So I'll be showcasing to you how SDG 16 champions matters pertaining to the information, and that is where we belong. So colleagues, how can we promote sustainability? Usually in 3 ways. In our communities, community would not necessarily mean Kikuyu or Masai, can mean the community where you live and the community where you belong, including your church community and other communities that you are active in. In our profession, becoming strong advocates of SDGs, like we are doing today. Then, in our professional organizations. So here in our profession as librarians, and here professional organizations like KLA. Those are the 3 ways that we can promote sustainability. So the goals are 17, 169 targets, 232 indicators. So each goal would have targets, each target would have the indicators. Libraries and SDGs. In total, within the 17 SDGs, which I have mentioned 169 targets, out of the 169 targets, 19 targets are specific to the work of librarians because they discuss about the need to access information. So in a nutshell, our role is to be aware that 19 targets are discussing matters pertaining to information, and we are the keepers, generators, custodians of that information. 19 SDG targets. I'm not sure whether it is clear, but I will take you through. This morning, I wanted to find out in Kenya, what is the volume of production of research aligned to SDGs? And much of that research, and I'm not surprised, is on health. Simply because people who are in the medical field tend to undertake more research than others because their practice is usually very much evidence-based. Doctors cannot be able to manage our health conditions without continuously operating within the domain of information and publishing. The other domain, which is following that, I believe is zero hunger. There is a correlation between zero hunger and matters to do with, to an extent, health. From there, if we can spot, I think I would spot gender equality, which is even having much more than education. Kenya is a good champion of gender equality. Professor Nyamboka, that also, I believe, resonates with what we were discussing during our team break regarding some of the guests coming who are champions of gender equality. We have even surprisingly issues to do with life below water, life on the land, good representation. How did I get that data? You may get this from Scopus, but that would mean you go SDG by SDG. Scopus they are a member of a consortium we call Aurora, A-U-R-O-R-A. Together with some universities in Netherlands, we call them the Leiden. They are champions of queries for SDGs. I happen to have an interest on that aspect of bibliometric analysis. I am a member of that network. However, SCIVO, S-C-I-V-A-L, we call it sometimes SCIVO. I call it SCIVO. I heard Mary calling it something different, depending on your mother tongue, how you shrub. SCIVO, they have made our work much easier. In one platform, you put a country called Kenya, then they give us the output for SDGs. So in case you are going to make a presentation somewhere and you want a query like, how is your university or your institution performing on matters to do with SDGs, specific to your university? If you don't have access to that data, please don't feel like you are bothering me. I'm your chairperson. Drop me an email. I don't get the data within 48 hours. Don't send me when you are getting to present in the next 1 hour, because sometimes I'm not around or I might be busy in a board meeting. But within 48 hours, which is reasonable, I should be able to send you the data. So I have mentioned SCIVO. Among you, and let us be honest with ourselves, I was making a presentation 2 weeks ago in Pakistan, and I got surprised to realize in that room only 3 people in their lifetime and interacted with SCIVO. Among us, how many have ever seen SCIVO? If it is everybody, I will just pass and go. If a number of people have not, I will go to SCIVO and show you how the website looks like. How many have not interacted with SCIVO? Majority of us have not interacted with SCIVO. So around me, I don't know, because the IT person is not around, and this thing is misbehaving when I try to change. It might knock me out when I try to change. Wow, it has worked. What I'm not sure is whether it will accept me to go back to my presentation, but let me show you Saivo. So that is Saivo. This morning, within Saivo, I went to a country called Kenya, and it has listed our universities and research output. Saivo and the Scopus are products of Elsevier. When we hear the Good University Guide, the ranking has come out, they rely on data from Scopus. Scopus and Saivo are the same thing. How does it affect you as a librarian? It is your work to make sure scholarship published by your scholars finds its way into Scopus. You do that through guiding them to publish in journals which are indexed by Scopus. You also do that via maintaining the repositories so that it is easy for the work to be discovered for your scholars. So this is showing us the university with highest output is University of Nairobi, and showing us that the citations for that university is 197,989. However, this field weighted citation is a new metric which to me is very important, because if I had time, I would even put a topic, let's say engineering, University of Nairobi, then engineering. Why is it important? St. Paul University is a university based on theology. It is very wrong for me to measure them apple for an apple with the University of Nairobi, yet them they are not offering engineering. So then why the field-weighted impact is important, so that if I'm measuring library science or engineering, I measure you against other universities offering the same program. That way it is fair, apple for an apple. Now, within Saivo, I will just come here to SDGs, very easy, and click on SDGs. Then it will show me SDG number 1, scholarly output and citations. Allow me to just now click further on SDG 3 as a way of showing you the power of Saivo. SDG 3. Analyze in this country. So, if someone like the Minister for Health wanted to know how we are doing on SDG 3, because it's for health, look at that chart. We call them dashboard, which is showcasing the performance, the collaborations that Kenya is having. 84% of production of our health research is out of collaboration, which is very good. Then the top phrases for that particular area of field, our levels of international collaboration, and the field-weighted citation impact. A very nice dashboard. So these nice dashboards, we get them when we are discussing matters pertaining to research, and when also we are seeking for funds. So that if we are discussing with the fundraising organizations, they are able to see, upon giving us the funds, how best we might use that fund. So that is Saivo. Okay, now let me go back to our SDGs, but I just wanted to show you how I got the data for your comfort, so that you may not feel like we are not sure whether what he has shown us, it was his own story. Okay. So we have talked about SDG 1, which is no poverty. Librarians support this goal by providing public access to information, training in new skills, and services that give people opportunities to improve their lives. Within the IFRA map, there are stories from other parts of the world but I try to get stories which resonate with us, stories from developing world. So in Kenya, Kibra, under the leadership of, at one point, Mary Kenyanji was the librarian over there. The library in Kibra improves access to education for people who would otherwise never get access to a decent place they can sit to even do their own learning. Now, South Africa, they have given their case, Chile and India. What am I challenging you to do? IFRA, which is a member association of other associations, cannot and will never sit and write good stories about Kibra. They will never sit and write good stories about knowledge empowering youth and how it is impacting SDG 1. It is you librarians who would look at the kind of work you are doing and you feel it resonates well with SDG 1. You come up with a story. Through the IFRA map, you send the story. And if the map requires someone to verify what you are putting, they will put it through us. We do that, and then it is sent over to IFRA. That helps the visibility of the country to be raised in terms of our pursuit for SDGs, but also your own institution to be seen as a leader in aligning whatever work they do with SDGs. SDG number 2, we did not find our way on that one, but South Africa has. We provide people with access to research and data on crops, market information, and farming methods, working towards zero hunger. Number 3, good health and well-being. This one, closer to us is Ghana, where access to sexual and reproductive health education in the library to curb teenage pregnancy. So librarians play a role in providing access to medical research. If Kenya, we can get the librarian for KEMRI, a lot of good stories can go to this map so that Kenya can also be here. Today, there's someone I discussed with who wants to establish a repository on FGM. Was it? It was yourself, eh? So when it comes to issues of gender equality, once you establish that, that is similar to this one, and that story can go there. I will discuss further with you about it and how you might also get funding. So just get time we discuss further about how you might go about it, because I've done that for WHO for Mediterranean region. But because of the nature of my job, I also have to serve others. So that one I did for Mediterranean region, but later on I will be able to bring the same to our East African region. Quality education, Kenya, there we are represented. But I wouldn't say embarrassing because people look down upon Kibera, but you see Kibera is also the one that is saving us. So again, library uses technology to help government achieve mathematics and education targets. Those are stories from Kenya. How the libraries are at the heart of schools, universities, and colleges. A very powerful statement, which as an advocate of libraries, sometimes people come and ask you, what is the role of libraries in this school, in this college, or in this university? We are at the heart of education. However, qualifying that, you must show them how we are doing curation, data curation, curating content. Someone told me some universities or colleges challenge them, why must they have budget for books? If we are curating information from open education resources, something that I've done, Dominic, you remember the Burundi project? We curated for the entire country, content for OER, but it was under some other funding. Then that becomes our role towards helping them. SDG 5, gender equality. I don't know why our story is missing here, but Kenya is among the countries, even Rwanda, that tend to do quite a lot on that area. If you look at this room, boy child, we are under siege. Looking at this room, you'll see there is very good representation of the girl child. Yeah, kama rainio kiangalia is only one boy child. Pande ile kuna fair representation 3-3. Pale tumechapwa no ni 2-2. Hapa tumelimwa kidogo. Yeah. Hata tumejaribu sana leo. Tumejaribu, ndio Nyamboga. Lakini si unaona hapa tu ni wawili na hapa ni wanne. But huwa sisi tumeitikia. Example of best practice in gender equity is the library profession. So SDG 5, those are the examples. SDG 6, clean water, we provide access. Sometimes some libraries, Kenya is not yet there, but some libraries actually provide within the library safe drinking water. KNRS, that is something to think about. Wakati mwanafunzi anasoma akitaka maji, mnamchapa. Sio necessarily ya Keriget, but inaweza kuwa purified. Sawa? Yeah. Na in case budget is reasonable of purifying water so that people can drink, unatuletea tukiwa KRA tunawachapa hiyo. We can afford kama ni ya 25k 30k. Then tunaweka kitu kubwa pale, project funded by Kenya Library Association. Na tunaendelea. Tunaweza. Good. Affordable and clean energy. Some of the only places someone can go to do their homework in some of the libraries, in some of the areas is in the library, because you may not have access to the internet or even power. So that is how we are meeting that. Decent work and economic growth, access to ICT training in the libraries. There are some libraries, like the British Library, they have what they call IP center. Not intellectual property, but it is a center for people who want to do entrepreneurship and are having business in incubation, where they go meet a business librarian who would help them search for sources of information on the business they want, guide them how to write even business proposals and business plans in the library. So here we are having South Africa, Canada, and I've seen Mary writing that. Maybe it's something she might plan to start. Yes, please.
There's something I want to comment about water.
And go back to water. Yeah.
You said Madam should initiate, they have water. Our water in Nairobi, water is clean. So it's a matter of constructing a safe place where the people can take, the students can be taken that water. And I think it is cheaper for the institutions of the government. It's cheaper.
And we require to write MOU with them, like the KLA in Burumburu, we would like to have that. No, tusiwe tunalipa, si umesema is free. We are actually housed by KNRS. We use KNRS office.
So our water is safe.
And it's free.
Not subsidized.
Okay, thank you.
It's around 45 shillings.
So if there could be, the way that one can come in there would be MOU between KNRS or other public libraries and Nairobi Water, purposely for the purpose of providing access to people who are using the library to have access to water. Then after that, we track it as a story for the entire world to look at the best case for how we are going about that.
They can also request a water tank. They will provide water tanks. Free? They are free. You write and request for water tanks. You are knowledge.
So like even the libraries that Knowledge Empowering Youth establishes, they can get your water for free, na plus water tank. And then I just come, alafu nikuja nipigwe picha tukifungua tap, Sawa. Sawa. So tulikuwa tumefika, yeah.
It is only for Nairobi.
Oh,
Only Nairobi, not Nairobi County.
eh, sawa sawa. Okay. Right. So the other one is industry innovation and infrastructure. We provide high-speed internet infrastructure for skilled professionals. And in some places, we are the only major providers of public internet access at low or no cost. For example, I'm not an advocate of KNET. I even don't know. I know they are at the University of Nairobi. But via their establishment, actually the purpose of establishing them was to become partners of choice for universities to be providing internet at a very low cost. So then, if we were to do that, then it will become a good story. Over here, again, Kibera and KNLS, they have shared how we use technology to achieve mathematics targets and all that. Reduced inequalities, access to information. Remember, I talked of access to information being a human right. So, access to information reduces inequalities. An informed person is an empowered person. So, in areas where there are levels of inequality, like some counties, if only the money they are using to put up those state-of-the-art measures for the governors could go to the libraries, it would be a sure bet of even reducing the inequalities. I may not have time to showcase, but I got fascinated last week when I realized that in the Republic of Ireland, the National Library of Ireland, it is the designated place where any VIP, any president, prime minister, whenever they go to Ireland, that is where the president receives them. Instead of going to State House, they go to the National Library of Ireland, they tour the library, then that is the designated place where the president receives them. You can imagine how powerful, because power is not necessarily money. You can be powerful and influential because of the seat you are holding. Without money, money is very secondary. I can even be more influential or bring more significant role in the country without necessarily so much money. So that woman, because we were with her, she was showcasing to us their library. It is quite a gem. It is quite a gem. It is something, I even told her that in my bucket list of the places that I must visit will be that National Library. So that would help now reduce the inequality. Sustainable cities and communities, that is role in preserving our documentary heritage. I'm not challenging anyone, but this topic of documentary heritage, if like the Kenya National Archives, or assuming there is an archive, let's say in Ramu or Mombasa, where, remember when the Portuguese came to raid us and we had this, the first library in Kenya, Mohammed Siand, I'm forgetting his name. If that heritage requires preservation, that is where there is money. There is a lot of money coming from the UN for preservation of such things. And that is our role. But again, here, Kimbera gave us some good stories. I don't know this library whether it is still with us or whether it has gone to the counties. Kamenda, eh? So. I hope they will take good care of it. Okay. Responsible consumption and production. We share resources in the community and we provide communities with information. We are not yet there, but with the devolution, maybe at one point we would be able to reach the local communities. But the KNLS of Kitambo, that years ago, when it was the mobile libraries and all that, actually they used to do what we are being asked to do over here. Costa Rica has a good story where the equivalent of KLE focuses on social responsibility programs on environment improvement. I took it for granted. Professor Nyamboka used to keep on calling me for tree planting. And kila wakati sasa na sino nitaenda mpaka mzito ande. Unajua barabara mkiwa watu wawili watatu sawa peke yako, it can be quite a stress. But kama ningeenda under the banner of KLA, I would now be able to claim that we are doing something. We wish to plant the hatuna pahali ya kupanda hiyo miti Nyamboka as KLA. Eh? Mau alipanda eh? Sawa sawa. Okay. Climate action, I hope we were here because UNEP, being in Kenya, anyway, we play a significant role in providing access to data research on matters to do with public access about climate change. UNEP, being housed here, is a giant, only that the United Nations librarians, we know them, Akina Heren and the rest, but either they are very busy or they just prefer to only share knowledge among themselves. It's very hard for them to attend this, but I know I can tell you for free, we tend to send them personalized invitations.
They have changed their status.
They have changed, they are knowledge managers.
Even the Hope of World Bank.
Okay.
Who used to join us, when he went to World Bank, he stopped.
And even changed the accent. I lived in the United Kingdom for 10 years, studied bachelor's, master's, PhD, worked there, but I came back with my Mokirinyaga accent. Like Kiraitu Murungi taught at Harvard, it was upon students to get to hear what he is saying, not upon him. So it's quite okay, it's quite in order. Below water, we provide data research knowledge that supports information below water. Actually, this one, I was surprised. I was not thinking we have got anything here as a country, but as an engineer, we are shocked. In Kenya, we are doing very well on this particular SDG. Again, life on land, more or less the same. Peace, justice, and strong institutions. Allow me for this one to draw your attention to SDG 16. 10 means the target, target number 10 of SDG 16. And I read, ensure public access to information and protect fundamental freedoms in accordance with the national registration and international agreements. So access to information, the target itself is talking to us, is speaking to us. But we work with the national registration, we are doing that. That's why tomorrow we are having some Mheshimiwa coming, and the international agreements such as IFRA and other agreements, including WIPO. Partnership for goals, this one we are very good because most of the research or what librarians do is very much in partnership with others. But Kenya there is having, again, 2 examples from Kibera, which have been listed there on the IFRA portal of the maps. Now, allow me to briefly, because part of this is actually knowledge sharing, mention that the stories about SDGs are very easy. We post them on IFRA platform. How we get to see how we are aligning with that is through Scopus and SAIVO. That one is clear. However, within Research for Life, and in case you are hearing about Research for Life for the first time, take note of this screen. When you go back, you can contact me or any person, including Nyamboga, you tell them that you'd like to register your institution to be a member of Research for Life. It is free. During the era of Kofi Annan, as the Secretary General, thank you, Kofi Annan realized that come in. Kofi Annan realized about, there's someone who was passionate about the digital divide. He realized there was a lot of that. And what could he do for Africa? He thought he would come up with a United Nations powered initiative, hold a forum, invite global top publishers, and discuss with them how they can avail to Africa and the developing world at a fraction of what other countries would pay, access to scholarly peer-reviewed resources. Hence, they came up with Research for Life. It is WHO powered, but that influence is not only on health, because for health we call it Hinari, which is part of Research for Life, but we have got a number of products, including for agriculture and for environment. So, when it comes to tools that track other researches, such as Scopus, they can be quite expensive. But now, Dimensions is a portal which is as good like Web of Science, Web of Knowledge, which is owned by IISI, but free to us, courtesy of Research for Life. So once you go there, you log in, the URL is portal.researchforlife.org. Within that, you click Dimensions and you are able to undertake some levels of research in terms of tracking. The other role that we have as librarians is to ensure we provide platforms to showcase the visibility of our researchers. So there are two ways that we undertake. Number one is our repositories. Like our repository, we call it eCommons, powered by BPress of Elsevier. It's a proprietary repository, meaning it's not free, it's quite expensive. In Kenya, USIU has it and Aga Khan has it. But for us, it's easier because some of the funds we use, we get them from the researchers. When they get the grants, then it is much easier for us to afford. However, out there we have, is it Koha? Huh? Koha. We have a lot of Koha. No, it is DSpace, not Koha. It's DSpace. Koha is for RMS, DSpace is for the repository. So DSpace would do the same. The only drawback with DSpace, even with the eCommons that we use, it does not give us a very clean platform that a scholar would have their own page. So what then we have done, every scholar would have their own page, like the one you are seeing, and they do nothing in terms of powering their page with their publications. It is the work of the librarians who we integrate the platform, which we call Pure, scholars.aku.edu. We integrate it with your work from Google Scholar, from Scopus, Web of Science, and ORCID, everywhere, nowhere to hide. We create your page and we keep it. That way, when you are even trying to attract researchers or students to come and work under you, you are able to tell them to visit your page. There's nothing as frustrating, like some emails I get, people trying to partner with me, and maybe their research interest might be on archives, which I don't have any clue at all, because that is not my area. I even find people writing so much of the emails I get are actually on matters to do with medicine and health sciences. But if someone just takes time to go and check my research interest, they would know what it is, and when they are approaching me, they would know what areas we are able to partner on. Similarly, most of these professors, and I'm saying that because if you are trying to have someone supervise your PhD, there's nothing as almost impossible like supervising a PhD in an area that you are disinterested in, clueless about. Itakuwa unauliza mtu ati tulifika wapi, tulisema namna gani. Wewe unakasirika, unasema huyo professor anipendi, lakini it is your choice of the wrong person. If you go and pick a professor whose interest is aligned with what you are researching, it is going to be a very, very fulfilling journey for both of you. So we have an obligation then as librarians to maintain platforms that would give visibility. So after helping our university generate the knowledge and we capture and store it, then we disseminate through having tools which will showcase the visibility of those researchers. Then after that, we go and measure the metrics using tools that I've shown you, so that when it is the time for now, the report starting goes harvesting data to decide which universities are most impactful, then the ranking of our universities would be more favorable. That is also our work. The tools that we use for measuring as for university ranking, we call it Webonometrics. For those who are keen on that, you can go to Webonometrics and you'll be able to see also the ranking for that. In conclusion, we have a role towards SDGs. We are not just repositories of books. We are dynamic communities that create hubs for experts, provide tools and space to individuals who can enhance their knowledge and create a more sustainable society for the world to come. Colleagues, that is our role in SDGs. My challenge to you as your chairperson is to familiarize yourself with the IFRA library map. After doing that, we check which activities we are having in our respective libraries. We come up with those simple stories, populate the map, so that Kenya's position as a leader can be felt. Thank you very much. I now invite any questions that you might be having. Thank you.
Questions for Prof? Yes.
Okay, I have a question. Yeah? Prof, you have shown us how to check around the Kenyan country and all the universities of Kenya. Can you use the same method to check for a particular university to see the areas that they publish in based on the goals that we have learned now?
The answer is yes. I can use Scopus to check SDG by SDG, and I can use SIVO to check SDGs specific to institution. And I will do that before we leave today for your institution. And I'll also share the results. Yeah.
Maybe to add on that, Prof, I think apart from what he says, Scopus can check also is so long as your name is right.
Nowhere to hide, yes.
Yes. That's what I was showing her. You know, someone told me on Scopus. I've done a lot. If you just write Scopus plus my name, you would see so many more than 18. It's a very strong source of who is who, not about, especially like our students now. You know, the way you people, including my friend here, if you are asked tomorrow, that because you have finished your PhD, you can't defend before you give a student a pen. Because you know what the students do at master's level? They go to the paid channels. It's only that we just assume, Margaret, you don't pass. We only assume because we are tired of the way he says. When we are tired of our students, you just close your eyes and say, I think he has done right. But you know those are all wrong journals. You go to some universities that maintain ideal scholarly, they would say no. So, but if you are in Scopus and another one is ResearchGate, you are top scholar.
So the way it works, we all know about H-index. Everyone H-index? Okay. I don't want to dominate this conference, but if I can get another chance before Friday to take people through bibliometrics analysis. In a nutshell, when you measure the quality of a journal, we call that impact factor. So you need journal. If I want to measure the quality of Constantine Nyamboga as a scholar, and forgive my slamping, his first name is very hard. Constantine Nyamboga. Okay. If I want to measure the research contribution of the Roman Empire, Nyamboga, we don't use impact factor, we use a measure called H-index. H-index. If now, so I've shown you the measurement for a journal is impact factor. For a scholar is H-index. For university is webnometrics. Higher. If you want to know the productivity of a department within your university, you would take the average number of papers coming from that department, then you say the departmental H-index. If someone asks you relative to what, you do FCWA, Field Citation Weighted Average, to see in relation to people who are undertaking research in the same area where you are. Now, one of the things that happens in the university that I work, most serious universities in the North America rather, we call it just the North. Becoming a senior lecturer is very easy, and an assistant professor, but becoming something called associate professor, na mnyama ingine inaitwa professor, is a nightmare. So, the profiles are brought in what we call appointments and promotion committee. And when the file comes, my work usually when we are appointing or promoting is to just advise the committee about the scholarship of the individual. So there are some scholars like Nyamboga, when you go to Google Scholar, you would never find his name there. He has researched, but he has not created a Scholar page. Not unless you have created one recently, Prof. Yeah?
King.
You are a king, but now when it comes to Google Scholar,
I'm just there with many.
yes, but I'm not seeing.
No,
Dominic, hiki tu, how do I connect? Nimepeleka pale ingine.
Those ones who have it, I want you to do it wrong.
Okay, let me use.
My name, if he writes the same.
Sasa labda I'm not writing emperor. Sawa.
Scopus have just done now.
Nataka kuenda Scholar, Google Scholar.
But you must know how to spell my name. My name. There's about 3 N's. If you miss one, it can't count.
I can imagine how many checks are bouncing. Google Scholar. Tunataka ikuja pale ndipo shinda. Sawa, so what I wanted to show you is what trick do I use when I am under pressure within 5 minutes, I'm being asked for profile for this top. He's not even a Kenyan scholar, he is supposed to be employed. So what we do, there is like a tool we call Publish or Perish. Publish or Perish. That tool is free. You download on your computer, I have it, I will show you. Any person, you put their name there, then you are able to see their scholarship and H-index. Nyamboga hapo huwezi ukapata.
Well, give my name there.
Eh? Type.
When I tell you, you know, I was a professor in 2009. From 2009,
I get 1-1, but you don't have a scorer profile.
no, I have.
Or you have put.
Under Google Scholar.
Put Nyampoga. Put Nyampoga.
Just put it. But you must, Nyampogas, we have so many Nyampogas. And now my brothers. Because they are one mother.
Tuendelee.
Let me see, you can't spell it again. Let me make sure I spell it.
Tuende kasi. Apigwe makofi profesa mwenyewe hapo. Let us appreciate.
We are not respecting Google Scholar.
Okay.
Search it.
Hapana. Tuko sawa. Tuko sawa. Tafadhali. Ikifika mambo ya bibliometrics, I am a global expert. So you know, last year I was in Western University in Canada to kiketi hapo na other experts trying to see.
You know, you did masters. My topic is
Now, Nyampoga is interest is in information science, in information management, ICT, knowledge management, and information systems. And information systems. So if you are doing a PhD and those are the areas, nenda ukamsumbue. Ukienda mambo ya archives atakwambia okay tu, lakini akio unamsumbua njoo. Hata enda kuangalia hiyo mambo ili akusaidie. He cannot bail you out. So you just check what is someone's research interest before trying to go to them to discuss your research. Now, if you look at his papers, the first paper that has something to do with health is more cited. Hapa ni mambo ya Wahindi, alikuwa huko sijui kufanya nini. Akarudi. Hapa amefanya hapa ni wapi? Kamaraka ni wapi? Kamaraka.
Those are places I go to conferences.
But
that's a state in India where
okay, sorry.
That is the ICT city of India.
So this one are showing us the highest cited papers all the way.